Item 7.01. Good evening, Dr. Wade.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. It's a pleasure to be with you again. At this time, the presentation of activities of the 2018-2019 Fayetteville Fair Housing Board will be delivered by retired Army Command Sergeant Major and Fair Housing Board member Otis Cuffee. Mr. Cuffee.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor,
Good evening.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. The Fair Housing Board, thank you for the opportunity to serve this community and for strongly endorsing and supporting the board's existence and mission. But I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the Human Relations Department staff for the excellent support that it provided to the board for the accomplishments of its projects and its objectives. The Fair Housing Board members are Ms. Mary John Williams, Mr. Eric Anderson, Mr. Rinaldi Earl, Mr. Eduardo Jordan, and myself, Mr. Otis Cuffee. The board is honored to have been appointed by the City Council to serve in support of an ordinance that promotes Goal 4 of the city's strategic plan, and that is Fayetteville will be a highly desirable place to live, work, and recreate with a thriving neighborhoods and a high quality of life for all residents. The board is pleased to provide a summary of activities that highlight our efforts to address the allegations of housing discrimination and to sponsor events that promote community engagement and create a greater awareness of the city ordinance, including associated state and federal laws. A special thanks is extended to the city's communications department for their continued support. We notify residents of upcoming events through the city's public announcement webpage and other electronic and non-electronic methods. International Folk Festival, the Dogwood Festival, and other events. We go where our residents are to disseminate information. I know none of you can translate that, but as you know, the city of Fayetteville, is the all-American city, is mailed a diverse community. Although this event was in Spanish, we added a youth component to this information session, Story Time, which encourages the youth to learn through storytelling. We also offer a session for our French-speaking community. Thanks to Dr. Wade and Ms. Boulagon Zapate, who is the French language instructor. This board reaches out to all residents of this great city. This event was coordinated for those who are differently able, as Ms. Nazar likes to say. We collaborated with the Legal Aid of North Carolina, the North Carolina Fair Housing Project, to capture concerns from veterans and veterans organizations to ascertain how we can provide better support to our veterans. We also reach out to other professions. As you see here, we did something with the barbers, beauticians, and stylists. They are great people that talk to the community as they come in for their businesses. This event was to reach to more residents that are seeking information about fair housing. We've sponsored training for housing providers. Our goal is to educate all, including those that conduct real estate and banking transactions as it pertains to housing. We continue our efforts through partnership and collaboration. We collaborated with the National Community of Reinvestment Coalition. They are champions for fairness and fight for discrimination. This concludes the Fair Housing Annual Briefing, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Cuffee. So, Mr. Manager, we need to receive that report. All right, so I'll entertain a motion motion by Councilmember Dawkins, a second by Councilmember Waddell. Any discussion on the motion? All right, Council, I'll look to you for your votes to accept the report as presented. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Item 7.02, Annual Report, Fayetteville-Cumberland County Human Relations. Now it's Dr. Wade.
Yes, it is, sir. Thank you very much. This report will also be delivered by a former member of our services, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel, and the Chief of the Human Resources Division at Womack Army Medical Center, Eric Olson.
Wow.
He's also the Vice Chair of the Commission.
You notice the military is stepping up here.
I see that.
All the way? Oh.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Honorable Council. I'll do a little bit of reading and a lot of pictures, and I'll try to keep this moving, keep it fresh. But just a brief statement for those that aren't familiar with the Fayetteville and Cumberland County Human Relations Commission. This brief overview is of the activity of the commission as it's provided for your information. The efforts of the commissioners and staff are reflective of our commitment and dedication to serving our residents. It's been my honor to be associated with this group as servant leaders who have focused solely on the quality of life issues for our community. With ongoing trustworthy assistance and collaboration from the Human Relations Department, the Commission has fostered outreach and awareness of its programs and services. Their active involvement facilitated the successful accomplishment of our fiscal year 2018-19 objectives. Thanks to the leadership of the City of Fayetteville and Cumberland County Commissioners for your ongoing support of our mission of excellence. Because of you, we're able to continue our work as defined by the ordinance involving equity, inclusion, and fair treatment for all. Okay, there's a group shot of our initial strategic planning session at the Transit Center here downtown. And there's a list of our current active commissioners. And what I'd like to point out in this slide is that life does happen, and there's always another great member of our community willing to step up. Because behind all these people that are currently serving are all these people who served during the course of the year and were asked for their assistance in helping us do all the great work that is done here in this community. And now our quick highlights. Again, this is our kickoff that we do every fall. This year was at the Transit Center. And a big part of that was some of our subcommittees, this one being the rapid response, which coincides with the city's planning and many other cities like ours in its response to events in the community, particularly hate crimes and those involving public safety with law enforcement. Our probably most positive and most well-known contribution to the community is every year we honor our great leaders of the future with the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Awardees. These are 10 from last year, and our 10 awardees for this year. And many of you were at that event. Thank you very much. Again, just like the Fair Housing Commission, a lot of our work is with community outreach, and we are a direct reflection of our community, and that's providing a lot of bilingual support, particularly during the little bit of rain that we get here in Fayetteville, just a little. And our staff pitching in as well during the storm. I love this list because as a 14-year resident of Fayetteville myself, if it's a big event in the community, we're there. We want to be seen, we want to be there, and we'd be there anyway. But now we get to do it on behalf of the city and the county. We work a lot, again, with another big part of our community, of course, is Fort Bragg and the Pope Army Airfield, always willing to get in, and they have active members on our commission appointed by their respective services, the Army and the Air Force. Our other big event, of course, is our annual awards reception. This year was at the Metropolitan Room. We added a little bit of celebrity and media fame this year. It went very well. Of course, it also helps to have a local celebrity and local hero of our very own Fire Chief Ben Major. Fantastic event. Those of you there, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Another great event kicked off this year was hosting for North Carolina as the state. There aren't a lot of, not all of the major cities of North Carolina have a Human Relations Commission. Ours is very active, and we stepped up and hosted that event, and we'll probably do so again. Great event at Fayetteville Tech. The other part we do, of course, is teaching. The commission and department has collaborated with Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, Fayetteville Police, Fayetteville Fire, Fayetteville Tech Community College to host a quarterly community dialogue of engagement series of the film The Hate You Give. Human Relations Commissioners have served as a breakout group facilitators in support of that series that is being used to foster community dialogue around several contemporary topics addressed after the film and over lunch in facilitated dialogue sessions. The quarterly meetings are held once a quarter at Fayetteville Tech from 9 to 4. Attendees included community residents, churches, business leaders, higher education officials, public safety professionals, as well as city management, city and county human relations commissioners, city housing fair housing board members, and others. The ongoing series is provided to be an excellent way to engage our community in a discussion regarding race, youth, family, police community relations, diversity, and human relations. Great discussions for those of you that have had the opportunity to attend, and I believe there's one more this year. Again, we're mobile and we reflect our community, so we move our meetings and our community open forums throughout the county, here at Spring Lake, down south in Hope Mills, with the county. And some of our work, of course, does have a legal element, so we involve our district attorney's office as well. Greater Fayetteville United. As one of the founding partners, Greater Fayetteville United, the Commission has provided an annual briefing on its activities, and as issues arise, may require dissemination for information through this organization as well. And once again, our community partners in uniform, my former boss, General Camera. Thanks a lot, boss. And I'll just finish up with what a phrase we like to use. This is literally the money slide. This is the value of the Human Relations Commission as an extension of our city and county government, put in real time and in real dollars. Thank you.
Councilman Chris?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, before I motion to accept that report, I just think that we need to compliment the Sergeant Major and the Colonel. We just had two very, very professional presentations. Very good. I move to accept the report, the annual report of the Fayetteville Human Relations Commission.
There's a motion by Councilmember Chris, a second by Councilmember Waddell via lights. Although, any discussion on the motion? All right, council, look to you for your votes.
As we vote, Mr. Mayor, I would want to recognize Dr. Kendrick, who's sitting in the back, a former Fayetteville City Council member, and
All right, Councilman Dawkins, we have a motion on the
hardworking-
floor, sir. But I got you. We're going to make sure we do that. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous.